Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our...
On this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories, Mike and Bennett sit down to talk about hot wets. Yeah, like hot wets. Remember, like hot beverages of any kind. You would be downrange, and this is where I heard the term hot wets, is being downrange in Quantico Range 2, and it was cold as balls the first year I was there in 2008, 2009. I think we got a blizzard that year. We definitely did the next. And so it's just getting like cocoa or coffee, or they even brought chicken broth. That was banging. But like hot wets.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's January. Welcome.
It was always good when you're out on that range just freezing your balls off. And like they would bring out like, you know, the 3 dispenser friggin' like mermite freaking whatever, you know, those ones with the tap on them.
Yep.
And they always like you know, there was usually coffee, of course, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of times there was hot water, but if and when, wasn't always. Sometimes they would just bring out like one of those things full of chicken broth.
Yes.
And then when they did that, man,
it went quick.
It went really quick, and that shit was the bomb. It's that good, like, literally they took the chicken base with water, and that was it, man. You know, basically the next day you were swollen because of all the sodium that you consumed.
Yep. But you're
like,
hydrated.
But your hands felt like sausages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your fingers felt like sausages, and basically when you woke up in your out of your freaking wherever the hell you slept, whether it was in a hooch or a whatever, you would open, your eyes always felt like puffy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, but
just because of the sodium content in this fucking thing. But it was delicious.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I would immediately pound water after the broth because it's high in sodium, and I knew that it was, you know, that's electrolytes, right? So it's like you've got to stay hydrated, even especially during the winter. Because it's so dry outside, and you're outside all day long.
Especially if you're doing any movement, because you sweat your ass off, you know?
Yes.
Layers and the whole thing and blah, blah, blah. But
right.
And then the coffee part, you know, regular fucking shitty chow hall coffee.
Oh, God.
But that we all fucking love and miss.
Drink that shit black for years.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's basically how I drink my coffee now. I don't usually, every once in a while, I'll add like, you know, some bullshit, but usually I just drink black. And I attribute that to the fact that all the field time. And you're like, yeah, fuck, cream or sugar? What are you, some kind of fag?
And that instant coffee.
Oh, God, yes.
Remember that came in MREs?
Taster's Choice, baby.
Yeah, it was Taster's Choice, instant coffee. That shit was, we had a shit ton of that stuff. And I went high and right. I went out and got those. Because a lot of people are like, who uses the hot water? Right? That was one of the things on hot wets. Nobody ever used the hot wetter. So I'm like, bing. So I went out and got some of those, the Starbucks granulated coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't usually drink instant coffee.
Right.
You know, but like downrange, kabow. Or, oh my God, dude. One of the greatest ideas ever is a jet boil. Right?
Oh, yeah. Jet boils are amazing.
This is how I had it set up.
Jet boil in a canteen cup. Boom.
Oh, dude. No. Check this out. So I got the whole system, right? With the cup and the whole 9 yards. The whole jazz. And so you keep all of your propane down below, or your gas, whatever it is, inside of the canister. Screw your thing together. So what I would do, it was January 2010. We were at Advisor Training Cell out in 29 Palms, and it was fucking cold. Right? It gets cold out there, man.
Yeah.
Like out in the Mojave. And so I was in my sleeping system. We were sleeping inside of the, I don't know if you can do this or not anymore. I have no fucking idea. But we were sleeping inside of the hooches, or not hooches, but we were sleeping inside of the villages. And we had posts that was set up around. And so we each rotated through a guard mount, right? So the reason why I say that is because we could bivouac. We weren't on the move. We weren't going anywhere. We were hunkered in. So I laid out my sleeping system and had my jet boil right next to my head. Lined up, ready to rock, full canteen of water in that mo trucker. And when I got up in the morning, or even in the middle of the night, like if I was on watch and wanted to bring hot wets out on watch, I'd fire that mo trucker up. I just wouldn't put any caffeine in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would put in like cocoa or whatever, clean the bitch out, and then have it ready for the next morning to where I dump in my Starbucks granulated. Oh my God, dude. That was like the greatest luxury item in the world out in the field. Right. That was epic, man.
Right.
To a Marine especially, that was, and Pablo and I'd give him a little bit of coffee in the morning. I'm like, hey man, you want me to heat you up? Square this away. By the time I was done rolling all my kit up, because of course, you put out your sleeping system, but it doesn't stay out all day long. That's ridiculous. So you roll everything up, everything gets put away. You could displace within seconds, But by the time I got my entire kit reassembled, I would have my jet boil ready. And it was just, oh man, it like saved me. It was one of those fucking times where it was like, it's daylight hours. You're not wearing beanies. What? It's fucking cold out.
Right, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
I never understood a lot of the bullshit stuff that
my God.
Like,
it's
why?
Daylight hours. Take your fucking beanie off.
Why can't I put my fucking hands in my pocket?
Don't you get me started on that shit.
Why the fuck can't I put my hands in my pocket?
I don't
my
fucking
hands
know.
are falling off.
You're
Why
gonna
can't
give
I put
me
them in my fucking pockets?
You're gonna give me broth downrange. You're gonna give me broth. You ordered it yourself, and then you're gonna be like, take your fucking beanie off. You know what I used to do, by the way?
Take your hands out of your fucking pockets.
You nasty stinking daggone thing. You filthy fucking bastard. What are you, a pogue? Whoa, I went there. Yeah, you know what I used to do? I used to take my beanie and stuff it into the top of my campaign cover. Swear to God. So that when I put that sumbitch on it, to keep just the little punani pouch right up top, all nice and warm.
A little bit warm, right?
Hello. Field jacket liner. Oh, I grew out this dirty, filthy. I think I have a picture of this on the back end of our website. I don't know. I grew out the filthiest, heinous mustache, was rocking some sunglasses. Oh my God, it was so bad. Let's see if I got this picture on the back end of our site. If not, I'm totally posting it. I have my campaign cover on, my beanies underneath, fucking field jacket liner, hands in pockets, rock back, filthy stash, sunglasses. And I'll never forget, because honestly, I swear to God, I just got hot wets. And I was like strolling back. We were on the 300-yard line on range 2 in Quantico. And I was like strolling back over to the big end. My buddy snapped a photo. It was funny. Oh my God, dude. Miserable bastards downrange right now. They're probably dicking people out.
Shit. It's literally like the stuff that like makes you still feel human.
Right.
And these fucking fuckers always want to fucking...
Oh, are you still on the pockets thing?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, why do they want to piss all over it? You know what I mean? Because you're undisciplined or something?
Secure the happiness.
It's always that dick-ass sergeant major or first sergeant that just, it's like, why? Because you fucking had to do it that way? That's why you want me to do it that way? Like, does this really add any sort of discipline to the fucking... to the realm of military existence? No, you're just being an asshole. And not getting hotlets for the guys is the same type of thing.
Yeah, it's a dick move.
Just stop being a fucking dick. Like, oh, it's, sucking it up will make your fucking dick bigger, or it'll make you fucking, harder as a person, or whatever kind of bullshit, that they're slinging that week. No, the fact that we're even here sucks enough, First Sergeant.
Right.
Okay. The least that could happen is that we get a hot fucking beverage because you won't let us wear beanies or put our hands in our pockets.
Well, that's what's so odd. I think only our branch does this, right? Because the Marine Corps is the most uptight organization that you could possibly join.
I can tell you for a fact that Army infantry is very along the same lines.
Yeah.
Not as hardcore in a lot of ways, but more in really dumb ways. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude. Especially if you've got somebody that's like a ranger in charge, then it just becomes like on another level.
Because they're all wicked hat.
They're a wicked hat. You know what I mean? And that's not saying that they're not. We have a lot of ranger buddies. We have a lot of ranger friends on this podcast. But Jesus, dude. Sometimes they just do shit to be hard for hard's sake. And it's like, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
You're like, this is stupid. This is going in a disability statement later. This is fucking retarded.
This is just fucking dumb.
Right.
Like, there's a point when you're just fucking dumb. And it might sound good in your head when you're like barking or when you're coming up with this scheme to just fuck with your guys. You know what I mean? And sometimes that needs to happen, right? When they're undisciplined fucking nasty pigs, right? Sometimes that shit needs to happen, but not all the time. So, you know what I mean? Especially when it's -20 out. And yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting.
Exactly what you're saying.
So
I think the majority of our audience knows what you're doing.
Right. I really challenge the powers that be to just think really hard before you like make a decision to do dumb shit. Because a lot of it's a knee-jerk reaction, and we always see it. All the Lance Corporals and everyone sees it and goes, well, that was a knee-jerk reaction to some dumb shit. Right?
Yes.
But then the first sergeant can't, or the gunny or whoever can't go back on it, because then they're like, and they might even look at their fellow fucking command section and go, that didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to. But you can't fucking admit it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can't also think about shit in it. It's basically what it comes down to, though, is just try and think smarter across the range.
Wait a minute. Wait. There's something happening in the background.
Oh, it's somebody turned water on. Sorry. Somebody turned a shower on.
Oh.
It's gone now, right?
Yes. So what were you saying? Because that was a little while there.
Was it really loud? Holy hell. All right. So basically I'm saying leadership sections need to just work on thinking smarter across the whole plethora of things.
Right.
Instead of, and it's easier said than done, because I've been there, where the knee-jerk reaction just comes out.
No, I know what you mean. I'm laughing because we're all hypocrites.
We are all hypocrites.
Only we don't all have rockers. And you're just like, fuck. Yep. See, I'm telling you, man, little fuck stuff is why people get out of the Marine Corps. But I say this all the time. The Marine Corps has the exact product that the Marine Corps wants. That's the whole thing. Are we proud of being Marines? Do we still embody that whole camaraderie and the whole 9 yards? Absolutely. But we didn't rise up through the ranks and go on for a career and all of this other stuff because the Marine Corps gets what the Marine Corps wants as far as the product is concerned. And it's that. It's Spartans, you know what I mean? Which is great. It's fantastic. I'm glad that I went and did a lot of that stuff and learned it.
We totally need them.
Absolutely.
But we all fucking hate them.
Holy fucking shit. Right. So it's like, it's almost oxymoronic in a sense because they're weird policy driven. I'm just thankful for hot wets. I'm just
thankful for good coffee.
It's the little luxuries in life. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that's what's so funny about it is my wife watches me every once in a while drink a cup of coffee, and I will sit there and like cradle a mug because I understand that I don't always like I am still that guy I do not take my coffee maker for granted. Like I don't know. I don't take a lot of these little things for granted. Like I have different survival measures essentially. Like I have a jet boil that's packed in my go bag kind of a deal.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
I guess that we could always say that conversely, we were talking about that asshole first sergeant, right?
Right.
Who's just you always saw him as the most miserable cocksucker on the planet.
Yeah.
Maybe he gave you a gift by cherishing. Now you cherish that cup of coffee, or you cherish that cup of broth and go, like that sends you to your little warm place and your power animal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like some shit from Fight Club. You know, you're just like, oh man, that's so good. That's so good. But would you have had that if you didn't have a first sergeant knee deep in your ass about the dumbest shit on the planet?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is all psychology, fucking crazy town. But I'm just saying, you know, so I see both sides of this coin, folks.
Well, and I look at it also from, so to caveat to what you're saying here, okay, right? You have the asshole first sergeant, but then you also have the combat condition. So you're out on post in a combat zone. Just because you're in a combat zone doesn't mean that it's always kinetic, which our listeners know.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
doesn't mean you're always running around. Yeah.
You're in a fucking combat zone, sitting on post, bored as fuck. Like, oh dear God. And if you're lucky, you have a PRR. If you're lucky, you have a PR. If your SOG is doing his fucking job right, you have some sort of black gear internal squad communication amongst the posts. But so we had to do a no shit by the book formed up guard mount for the last, I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks while this gunnery sergeant was with us. And we were in Sangan at the time. We were in PB Kumbadi. And it was fucking awful. It was terrible because it was 6 on, 6 off, 6 on, 6 off. And basically the 6 off was QRF and the other off was, sleep. And so we were doing guard mount in the middle of the fucking night, formed up, facing each other, going through everything. It was so stupid. And so we went through everything. We checked everybody's gear. And the reason why I say that it's stupid is because this is like month 6 of a deployment. Everybody has the same kit that they fucking had the entire time. Show up for post. That's it. Show up for post. And then when you get up on there, do a check of the post and the whole 9 yards. Where I'm going at with this is it would take like 25, 30 minutes to do a fucking guard mount. Maybe 45 minutes, depending, to do a guard mount. You just ate through that much time. Now that guy's got to get off post, take his shit, take all of his gear off and everything else, and he might get to sleep for about like 4.5 hours, depending, right? But you need that guy rested in the circulation. So what I would always do as SOG is make coffee for everybody who's on post or some other kind of hot wet, because it was, it's 130 degrees during the day. It drops down to a bone-chilling, 80 at night. Guys are bringing fleeces on post. I'm like, all right, hold on, time out. I would rather give you something warm and cozy for your belly. It's going to keep you awake. So we had this thing. In Pashto, it's called a chai knock. It's just a teapot. It's a big fucking teapot. So I would go out to it was like an adobe fire pit. It was literally just a mud fabricated fire pit that had an area, it was a barbecue. It had an area for coals, wood, whatever. And then it had your grid that was up top, your basic grill grate that was up top. start a fire in there, get the chai knock rolling, visiting the posts, when I can, monitoring radio checks via green gear and doing my black gear thing, right? And if I wasn't on green gear doing baseline radio checks, I was on black gear. Or, God's honest truth, to stay awake and to keep my creative brain going, I would try writing things. I would write things out of my notebook and transfer it into another notebook with my non-dominant hand, because I'm a weirdo. So that's what I would do as SOG while I was in there. And then I would go back out, tend the fire when everything boiled up. Then I would take a fresh, brand new tube sock, fill it full of coffee grounds, dunk that mud trucker into the teapot, and just close the lid on it. So you had a fresh cotton bag. And if we had beans, whole beans, that was better, because I would put them in there and then I would kind of beat the shit out of the sock to like smash up the grounds a little bit or whatever, and then dunk those or smash those through the hole in the chai knock and then dunk it in there, which I've got. I'm gonna have to put it on here. Yep, I've got the tube sock. I used to tea bag it. Like, it's a cotton tea bag. That's all that it is. But I would tea bag into this, right, teapot, and that's what I would carry around. So I would fill up cups, and I'd carry it around to post, like canteen cups. I'd go around and grab everybody's canteen cup, and then I'd radio up, in black gear, post 1, I'm coming up to you, post 4, because you don't want to get shot, obviously.
No.
And, yeah, it was a morale booster. It was something that I could do in order to stay awake while I was SOG. It was another reason for me to go out and visit posts. So, I mean, it worked out. Nobody died. So, mission complete.
Mission complete.
I would even do it for the Afghans if they drank coffee, or kawa. 90% of the time, they were just dipping sweet A, banging heroin, and, messing with
little boys.
Right. They didn't want hot wets.
They didn't want, their hot wet was a little different.
They had a different morale and booster. They had a different way to boost morale amongst the ranks.
Jesus Christ.
Different types of hot wets. Oh my God, this took a turn for the worse.
Shut up. Stop it. We already had an episode about this.
Dude, a canteen cup full of fucking cocoa is pretty much the greatest thing in the world when you're shivering your ass off out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so, it's pretty badass.
Dude, and you've done this. You either add the chocolate beverage powder, the cake mix, right? And all that I mean is like the milkshake, the bullshit chocolate milkshake, or the cake mix, and you add them together, which is amazing. And then you add the coffee with a little bit of water and you mix that up and you've got a cake. But what I would do is like way too much hot water and keep adding hot water and drinking. So it's like super sweet at first and then gets a little watered down. And if I could get that much hot water, that was really, it was like flavor in hot water to increase body temperature.
Right.
But
yeah, man,
dude, that was, I kind of miss MRE cakes like that.
I can say that I don't miss them 1 ounce. Not even a little.
How about lemon poppy seed pound cake?
I mean, it's I think back and I go, oh, that wasn't so bad, but it's not like I want to buy a box full of them now and be like, yeah, man, let's have this for fucking dessert, kids. No, I'm good.
Right.
I've already went down that road, and maybe it'd be cool to have my kids taste it at some point and be like, yeah, here's what Daddy had to eat, and this was dessert, and then they throw up and everything else. But you know what I'm saying?
Quit your bitching. Drink your hot wets. Get your hands out of your fucking pockets.
Get your hot wets. Get your fucking hands out of your pockets and pick weeds. Fuck. Police call the fucking yard. Get online now. I have enough kids that I could do a police call.
You could. You could get them all online. That's what
it's basically what I do in my house.
Get online right now. Oh my God.
To clean their fucking room, get online and pick up shit now. Or we're not going to the zoo, kids, until you get this shit done. And you have 10 minutes. And if you're not, I'm not shitting you. This was yesterday. because we're living with my sister-in-law right now until we close on our house next month, right? So we 3 girls share a room. Not all my girls. It's my niece and 2 of my girls. We have bunk beds and, blah, blah, blah.
It works out.
It works out just fine. Well, there are 2 of the little ones, which are 8, and then my 10-year-old. My 10-year-old squared the fuck away, right? But the 8-year-olds, they just, no. They're like soup sandwiches, right? So it's like, clean up the stuff. It's the day after Christmas. They've got all their toys, but it's as though they took a Christmas grenade and threw it into their room, pulled pin and ran. Right. So there's Christmas shit all over the fucking room. So I come in and I've told them, because Daddy talks. I don't yell anymore. I try not to yell. I'm not saying I don't yell. I do yell. But I have to get to that point. Can you guys clean up your room? We're not leaving until you do. That's the first time. Then I'll go check on them 5 minutes later. They haven't done shit because they've been having a dance party or something. Right?
They've been trying on fucking tiaras and tutus.
Right, or doing whatever the fuck.
Pulling shit out of their goddamn
everything but cleaning the shit off the floor. Can you come on, guys? I'm serious. Come on, this is it, man. It's every fucking time. Come on, guys. I'm serious. We're not leaving until this is done. Blah blah blah. I go sip some more coffee, whatever, sitting around, doing what I'm doing. I go back a third time. Are you fucking serious right now? Pick this shit up now. 10 minutes. Time starts now. And then I came up. I went, wait a minute. Hold on. Stop right there. So I went and I grabbed the dustpan and a trash bag.
Yeah.
And I said, if everything is not cleaned up within the next 10 minutes, do you see this dustpan? I will scoop it off the floor and throw it in this trash bag. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care whose it is. And it will go in the trash that is getting picked up later today.
And they, of course, freeze.
And then I slam the door. Right?
Right.
Lo and behold, 10 minutes later, that shit's done. But why do I have to get to the point where I yell? So this is like the shit that we had to deal with, that first sergeants had to deal with in the fucking military. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just asking nicely doesn't work. So they go straight to nuclear. But I hate doing that shit with the kids. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the point of this whole fucking story was. Oh, it's because of the police call thing. Get on fucking line with the police call and shit, And then we went to the zoo and had a good time. But damn.
Dude, there's a lot of carryover in between managing boots and managing children, unfortunately.
Fuck yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of carryover. A lot of people are like, oh, well, what's the major difference? Well, boots handle live firearms. Children typically don't. But, aside from that.
Right. But there's really, there's 2 ways people learn. Mindless repetition and blunt force trauma. Right?
Yes.
So I'm not saying I beat my children. That's not what I mean. Blunt force trauma in the fact that you might have to yell, you might have to punish, you might have to, take away dessert or whatever the fuck you do. But mindless repetition and blunt force trauma. And you know what? It works pretty well with kids. They turn out okay when you're done.
There you go.
I've got a couple.
The proof is in the pudding.
No fucking hotlets for you. Get out there.
No fucking
garden.
Hell. I don't give a shit if it's raining. Keep pushing till I'm tired.
Till I'm tired.
No hot wets. No hot wets for the little one.
None. 0. Don't give her cocoa. She doesn't deserve cocoa. I think those words have actually come out of my mouth.
I bet you're going to police call the marshmallows out of that fucking cocoa, aren't you?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I go, I bet you. You won't police call the front yard? I bet you'll police call the freaking marshmallows out of that cup of cocoa you got there, though, won't you? Get out there and freaking clean the yard.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you just become the first sergeant of your own fire team, your own house.
Some people's
it fucking sucks sometimes. Badly.
Just shut up and drink your fucking hot wets. God.
Right. See, I just had one come in. She's done. This is the 10-year-old that's freaking squared the fuck away. Because I told her at 11, because we're recording, obviously, folks. I told her around 11. I said around. I didn't see, and you can't give weird things like that. You've got to give time hacks, right?
Right.
So I said around 11, I'll take her to her friend's house, right? It's 10:56 and she comes in squaring her father away like, so when are we going, Dad? Because it's around 11, right? She's fucking badass.
There you go.
She's squared away. All of my kids are pretty squared away, but the 8-year-old, she just hasn't gotten there yet.
It's just like Boots. It's just listen,
that.
Guys and gals, if you're trying to figure out this whole parenthood thing, it's just like Boots. All right, just give them hot wets every once in a while, and they're gonna be fine.
Cherry Sprite, exactly. Give them the Dunkin' Donuts trip that they want so badly.
It's gonna be okay.
It's good. It's good. It's not about toys; it's about experiences, folks.
There you go. I hear that.
It's true. They will cherish those experiences. They could give a fuck about the rock band game that you just bought them. But if you take them to the zoo every day for a month, or you know what I'm saying, like if that's your thing, dude, I've got a thing. I made a thing out of going to get my car washed. Every Sunday we go do the car wash because we have a place that you pay like a monthly fee and you get your car washed for like $5. And up here,
that's pretty cool.
In the salt zone of the world of upstate New York, where your car will rust through in one season if you don't wash it. It works out to like $5. If you only do it once a week, it works out to like $5 a car wash. And it's Delta Sonic is the name of the company. Well, that is like a thing that I do with the kids. And then we go to Costco, right?
Yeah.
And shop for food for not all the food, but a lot of the food for the week. And then they get ice cream at the end of that. And at the end of the day, I'm out like, whatever it costs me for food. But they're like, that's like, they literally like look forward to that shit every week because they get to spend time with their father unabated by any other adult,
Right.
And then they get ice cream at the end, which at Costco, they have awesome ice cream and it costs like $1. So just shut up and do it. Parents, shut up and just do it.
There you go.
So I don't know what that has to do with hotlets. I just gave you a little parenting freaking seminar. If you have any other questions, give me a holler.
There you go. Thank God you're here.
Thank God. Thank God you're here.
Smoking and choking.
Oh my God. Because I do have a squad of kids. So
fucking A.
Fuck. And a niece and nephew that might as well be my kids. So I got a full fire team, folks.
Reinforced.
Yeah.
So. Reinforced. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. We know that you have your own hot wets stories. Cocoa broth. I'm sure some Air Force jagoff is sitting there right now, like sipping on coffee, laughing.
Mulled cider or some shit.
Like they're just talking about coffee. Like, what are you talking about? They hand you that. It's issued.
We get mulled cider every fucking Thursday. or you know what I'm saying. So actually, if we really want to get deep with this episode, hotlets can just be a metaphor for all kinds of shit.
All
kind of like rewards in the military, that kind of thing. Hotlets could just be,
Oh, there you go.
So anyway,
it is. It's kind of a
metaphor, but yet that chicken broth is still the bomb. I have dreams, good happy dreams about that shit. And even better, sometimes they would bring soup, not just broth.
Right.
In the Army, not the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
In the Army, sometimes they would just bring chicken noodle soup type shit.
That's awesome.
The bomb, baby. That's all I have to say. But on that note,
there you go. God bless America and no one else. Semper Fidelis, always. And on that note, we cue the music.
I will flag on front to every breeze, from dawn to setting.